Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the First Lady Khadra Mahmoud Haid sponsors the 45th anniversary celebration at the UNFD headquarters. Ukrainian forces withdraw from the strategic city of Severodonetsk. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the high patronage of the First Lady, President of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, Khadra Mahmoud Haid, this event was held last night at the headquarters of the UNFD, a festive evening to commemorate the 45th anniversary of the UNFD's and Djibouti's independence. This ceremony was an opportunity to review the achievements of Djiboutian women who fought for the country's independence in 1977, but also the role of the National Union of Djiboutian Women embodied by the First Lady. The UNFD is embodied by the First Lady, President of the UNFD, Madame Khadra Mahmoud Haid, who is the first militant for the cause of Djiboutian women and who never ceased to fight against illiteracy and violence against women, as well as female genital mutilations, to promote the promotions of gender and empowerment of women. Upon her arrival, the First Lady Khadra Mahmoud Haid was welcomed by the Minister of Women and Family, Mona Osman Aden, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, and Vice President of UNFD Hassan Ahmad Bidil, as well as the Secretary General of the UNFD Fatouma Moussa, the woman parliamentarian. A colorful event for the celebrations of the 45th anniversary of UNFD and the independence of Djibouti was attended by women's ministers, soldiers of the different armed forces of the country, women's activists for the independence of the countries, as well as senior officials of the country's institution.
shayga aadamaha u mudan oo waa dugsiga hooyo horta dunida laga afridi hoose lagu dayda bari hooyay waa adiga halgankii gobonimada haweenkaalintay galeen ukay qaateen ragogay hareer socdeen hantiyo maalbay naftooda u hureen xornimo halgankii gobonimada haweenkaalintay galeen hubkay qaateen ragogay hareer socdeen hantiyo maalbay naftooda u hureen xornimo haweenku nabadayo midnimaday u heliyaan horow markaan gaadhnay intisaa siyaasadeed looma kala harin hormood uu haweenka yahay ha iilan hooyoy macaan horow soco hooyoy macaan ha jiro dhiilka ha jiro hagaabin hooyoy macaan ha iilan hooyoy macaan horow soco hooyoy macaan.
The ceremony of the commemorations of the 45th anniversary of UNFD was animated by the different national artistic troops with a lot of joy and enthusiasm of the public who came in large number to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the creation of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, UNFD.
marwada tala awran arrinkiyo malaha ragale horsadka aan ku dayano khadra hooyo waa adiga ilmaha ilmihiisa taariikhda iyo annagu khadray kuma ilowno ifka hooyo noloshayada khadray kuma ilowno hooyo ifka noloshayada hooyo ifka noloshayada
ummadii oo bulshada ilaa halgankii xornimo aglookii dawladnimo astaan qaran bay ahayd adeega horow markuna la'aanteed ma aflexeen agaasima iyo wasiir arkaantii ciidamada aqoon-yahan iyo digtoor intaba waa loo igmaday.
The Secretary General of the UNFD, Ms. Fatuma Musa, in a speech, welcomed the First Lady and all Djiboutian women a good national holiday. She stressed that this evening reflects the path taken by the Djiboutian woman to make a place for herself is primordial, that has allowed her to be active in the political and economic spheres and in the education health sector. The First Lady of the country, Ms. Khadra Mahmoud Haid, attended a parade of elite women of the countries. It is about women ministers and parliamentarians, traders, executives in the health sector, women engineers, women pilots, sports, and finally the military women of the different corps of the country's armies, and finally the women activists who have played a major role for the independence of the country. Finally, the Vice President of UNFD, Ms. Hasna Hamad Bilil, gave to the First Lady, Ms. Khadra Mahmoud Haid, a gift as a token of thanks to the First Lady for the integration of women in the development of the country. During their stay in the Holy Land, the Djiboutian pilgrims made various file visits. The pilgrims began their visit at the Quba Mosque, where they prayed. The mosque is located on the migration route between Mecca and Medina, and about 3.5 kilometers south of the Prophet Mosque. The Quba Mosque enjoys the care and attention of the government of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, as it is one of the largest mosques in Medina. The members of the Djibouti missions made a tireless effort to guide the pilgrims toward the success of this historical and religious visit. After that, the pilgrims went to visit Mount Uhud, where they climbed Mount Arshers to take us. Mount Uhud is located as a mountain range stretching the from east to west 1 miles north of Medina, about 5 kilometers from the Prophet Mosque, which is the closest mountain to Medina. Pilgrims are eager to visit the historical and archaeological sites of Medina as part of their spiritual journey to the Holy Land. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, decorated with the Medal of Officers of the National Order of June 27, this morning, Saturday, June 25, 2022, at the Hotel of Officers Hassan Bassouma. Two senior officers of the Moroccan Army seconded to the Djiboutian Armed Forces on behalf of the Joint Military Academy of Arta as instructors. There are Lieutenant Colonel Faisal Bouharba and Lieutenant Colonel Aziz Sheker upon his arrival at the Hotel of Officer Hassan Bassouma. General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was welcomed by General Tahir Ali Mohammed, the Chief of the Defense Staff. Then together they conducted a review of the troops before the decoration ceremony. General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, in the presence of the General Tahir Ali Mohammed, met with the Chargé d'Affaires of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Morocco in Djibouti, Mr. Mbarek Haddawi. It was the moment to discuss the military cooperation relations between the two countries. The Moroccan business attaché, Mr. Barak Haddawi, stressed that due to the excellent military relations, it appears that the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Morocco are considered as neighboring countries despite the distant geographical position. This is due to the wise policy of the two presidents and Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, the King of Morocco, Mohammed VI, and His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Au nom du président de la République et invité des gouvernements de nos confrères, récents officiers internationaux de l'institution.
On Thursday, June 23, 2022, Colonel Wais Omar Boghorle, commander of the Coast Guard, welcomed in the lodge of the Directorate General of the Djiboutian Coast Guard the Rear Admiral Fabrizio Bondi, commander of the European Naval Forces Atalanta, on a working visit to the Republic of Djibouti. The Atalanta force is a mission within the framework of the European Naval Forces, ENAFOR, which aims to fight against the threats of piracy and maritime terrorism in the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean. Colonel Waris Marbore took this opportunity to present to the delegation the missions and operational capabilities of the Djiboutian Coast Guard. At the end of his presentation, a rich discussion was established between the two parties who shared their particular experiences in the field of maritime security and ways to strengthen cooperation and collaboration between the two institutions. Rear Admiral Fabrizio Bondi recognized the important role that the Djibouti Coast Guard plays in the security and maritime safety of the Gulf of Aden and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait regions, and praised the methodic development of this institution since its creation. The visit ended with an exchange of gifts and a family photo. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, in close collaboration with the UNICEF, organized this Thursday, June 23, 2022, at the CFF a validation workshop of the National Strategy of Water Sanitation and Hygiene in schools in Djibouti. This validation workshop was chaired by the Director General of Education, Mr. Abdidir Girwe, in the presence of the representative of UNICEF, ONEAD, ENSPD, school principals, parents associations, and NGOs, technical and financial partners. It should be noted that this workshop was conducted by video conference by the experts of water sanitation and hygiene in the school environment, Mr. Lalena Nirina. It was an opportunity to a broad presentation for the studies and the strategy on the methodology and the main results of the analysis of bottlenecks of WASH in school that the researchers firm Eco Jimenez has conducted. The workshop was punctuated by exchanges between stakeholders before the validation of the studies and the formulations of appropriate recommendations. Still in news from the country, one of the meeting rooms of the SME hosted yesterday afternoon a ceremony of end of training of autism spectrum disorders organized jointly by the association Sunna Al Hayat, the CNSS, and the French cooperation project PISCA. This training provided by video conference by the psychologist and chemist Claire Perrault began in March and ended yesterday at a rate of 4 hours per month. Teacher and pediatricians, psychologists, as well as parents of autistic children have benefited from this expertise to know how parents and teachers should behave. The words of the Secretary of Sunna Al Hayat Association, Samira Ahmed, and Guled Yusuf Qayad, head of the Department of Care Services. As part of the preparation for the celebrations of the 45th anniversary of independence, the Minister of Culture and Youth, Dr. Ibo Moumin Assoue, the President of the Commune of Boulaz, Abdul Qadir Iman, and the Member of Parliament, including many other guests, attended the cultural evening held behind the community development centers in the district. The elected communal officers and many guests attended the cultural evening organized behind the Community Development Center of the District 7 BIS. The program of the cultural evening began with the following the Arabic song. As part of the preparation of the June 27, the festivity of the 45th anniversary of independence, the prefecture of Ali Sabi has launched a vast cleaning and painting operation through the city of Ali Sabi to make the urban environment cleaner and prettier. The objective of this operation is to give the city of Assojog a special glow and reveal its most beautiful assets in the preparations of the 45th anniversaries. This in Tajora is preparing for celebrating the national holidays, as it should be. The prefectures plays the role of conductors in the process of preparing the festivities of June 27 and conduct the cleaning operations in the close collaboration with the Regional Council of Tajora Civil Society Organization to celebrate the holidays in a healthy and clean atmosphere. So in this context, the associations of women engaged for the protection of the environment, as well as they are carried out operations of the debate between the elders and the prefect of the city of Tajora. The prefect of the city, Hassan Dabale Ahmed, said in his speech that this preparatory operation did not go unnoticed because the unfailing commitment of the people of Tajora to our side proves the embodiment of patriotic feeling. After the region of Tajora and Ali Sabih, INAP is in Obok for the training of elected officials on the concept of decentralization. On Tuesday, June 21, the Regional Council of Obok closed with a 3-day training workshop on the concept of decentralization, the concentration to the profile of newly elected officials and local administrators, funded by European Union and implemented by the French expertise and executed by INAPA in collaboration with the Ministry in charge of decentralization. This training is part of the capacity building of human resources, including local elected officials, regional council staff, and sub-prefect of that, so that they assimilate their role and their rights. The training took place in the presence of the representative of the prefecture, the president of the regional council, the local elected officials, and the staff of the regional council. It was led by the director of INAPA, Ms. Aida Suleiman, and 2 executives of the ministry, in this case Ms. Umma Hamadou and Aramis Jilani and Mezat Mohammed. The Djibouti Football Federation, in partnership with the Djibouti City Council, launched Thursday the Tournament Challenge Inter-Regional Challenge Editions 2022. This competition, which gathered all the champion teams of the 5 regions of the interior and a team of the Djibouti City, will close today. The semi-finals were held this morning, and the team of the prefecture of Obok beat the team of Saleh of Arta by the score of 1-1. The U17 national team beat the team Farad of Ali Sabih by a severe score of 3-0. That's their final, which will have opposite the prefecture of Obok against the U17 national. Yesterday, Friday, June 24, the Djiboutian Cycling Federation had decided to organize a cycling competition on the occasions of the National Day. Neither one nor two, the Union of the Cyclists of the Republican Guard was gathered in the emergency to answer the call and offer to the show to a particularly large audience in front of the Bishop of Siesta. As usual, the Union of the Cyclists of the Republican Guard started in last position, but quickly got to the front of the pack to break away under the impulse of the release parted by Radwan Hassan and coach David Lofreda, in persons present in the team for the occasions as road captain. It is all the runners behind who then brought their stones to the building by carrying out their share of working in front without competitions. The Union of Cyclists of the Republican Guard finally cut their efforts to cross the finish lines together and underline the teamwork. The riders then welcomed the rest of the racer with the deserving encouragement given the limited weekly training offer by the Federation. For the international scene, the last civilian evacuated this Friday from the city of Lysychansk, the last bastion held by Ukrainian forces in the Luhansk region. After weeks of fierce fighting against the Russian advance, the soldiers also withdrew from the nearby town of Severodonetsk, leaving only ruins behind. According to regional governors, the fighters were ordered to retreat to positions protected from enemy fire. They better to fight on a large scale and inflict losses on the enemy. In this his word, retreat to avoid being completely surrounded by Russian troops and artillery that has been shelling Ukrainian position for months. Bombarded by Russian forces for weeks, Severodonetsk is a crucial step in their plan to conquer the entire Donbass, an industrial basin in eastern Ukrainian already party held by pro-Russian separatists since 2014. In recent days, Kremlin forces and their allies have conquered several villages surrounding the city. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.